lovelies, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome if you've never seen this face before. Please stay and make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. So if you haven't already seen by the title of this video, today's video is going to be a lot more serious. It's a video which has been requested on all of my social media platforms, and it's going to be a video on mental health. Everyone wanted to know my journey, everyone wanted to know some things that helped me and hopefully help some of you guys which are struggling. I originally wanted to not edit this video at all just because I wanted it to be pure emotion and raw. However, it is going to end up being edited a lot more than I think I thought I would edit, just purely because of the sensitive topics in here and flashbacks, I guess. Okay, so my story, something that a lot of people want to know about. A lot of people want to know about what I go through, what I've went through, what I've succeeded. Okay, so starting out with what I go through on a day-to-day basis. Now, what I go through on a day-to-day basis, it varies, of course. There's good days and there's bad days. I know it's a cliche to say, but there is honestly really good days where you aren't fazed by anything, and then the next day you can literally be at rock bottom wanting to end your life, which of course is messed up to think about for anyone of any age. So I got diagnosed with severe anxiety, severe social anxiety and really bad depression at the age of 14, I think it was, when I officially got diagnosed with it. Of course this was happening before that age. I think I was about 13, maybe 13 and a half when I first realised it. So I've just turned 17, so you can see how long exactly I've suffered it for. Of course I still suffer of these things at the age of 17. I am not completely happy, my mind is not completely healthy, but I am on the road to that, and I am a lot closer than I ever thought I would ever get. A lot of people ask me where I thought I would see myself at the age of 17, and bluntly to the point, I didn't see myself alive at the age of 16, let alone 17. So that alone says a lot on how my journey's going. I am slowly but surely getting better, which is so amazing to finally know and realise, and I think it's just makes me so proud of myself. So when I first got diagnosed with anxiety and depression, of course in the UK, I don't know if it's the same in every other country, in the UK you cannot be on antidepressants until you are 18. Because of course there is a lot of side effects of them. However, I did get put on a medication for my anxiety. Now at the time I was in such a dark place that I didn't care what medication I was getting put on, I didn't care what I was being given. I just wanted it to stop. I wanted to be able to go shopping with my dad, go to school, get on a bus, go out with friends without a demon, I guess you can call it, following me constantly, without shaking, crying, feeling all these emotions. I just wanted to be a normal teenager doing normal things, living life, I guess. So I didn't really look too much into these medications. I was just like, great, the GPs gave us them, like I'm gonna get better. Of course, being at the age of 14, I thought as soon as I'm on these medications, life's gonna be amazing. But it wasn't exactly. I didn't look into the side effects of the medication. I just kept taking them. Originally I was put on a 20mg tablet for once a day, and that gradually moved up to twice a day, then 3 times, and then it went up to 40mg, and it did that constantly. So it would go like up milligrams and up the amount of days, and I could see that I was getting better for a period of time. It was helping, and then it was wearing off, and then my body was used to it. and every time I went back to the GP they would just up it, and then eventually I ended up on 90 milligrams of medication at 3 times a day, which of course is not good. I was told at the beginning of my medication at the age of 14 that my body would not get addicted to this medication, that it would be a temporary thing and that it would help my anxiety. Pretty much this is literally what I was told. It's going to help your anxiety, you will be able to come off it, your body's not going to get addicted, blah blah blah. However, that wasn't the case. My body did get addicted very fast, to the point where I was waking up in the middle of the night not breathing, literally crying. I was struggling to breathe at all, with and without the medication. It got to the point where I could no longer drink fizzy drinks because it was too much for my body to handle with these medications. Now, I was confused as to why I wasn't breathing with them, why I wasn't able to sleep properly and do normal day-to-day things, why I was getting out of breath so fast. So of course I did some research finally. So when I did the research, I learned that this medication is actually used for people who commonly have heart attacks. This medication slows your heart rate down, so if there was a day where I took it late or I accidentally missed it, my heart rate wouldn't be able to handle day-to-day life because it was so used to being slowed down. So then, of course, with it being used to being slowed down, it wasn't able to function without this medication. I still do lose breath very fast, cannot drink fizzy drinks or anything of the sort because of course it fuels a lot of energy and my heart rate can't take it. So on this medication I was getting really unusual dreams, which at the time I just thought everyone has, like, nothing to worry about. I lost a lot of hair was literally falling out all over the place, like it was horrific. I did end up gaining a lot of weight in such a short period of time. Within 6 months I went from a UK size 6 up to a UK size 12, which was heartbreaking to say because I didn't know what was happening. So of course looked it up and this did all linked in with the medication. I also then learned that the medication can cause angina and heart attacks, which of course at the age of 17 didn't really want. So aside from the medication, I had been having troubles with my ovaries. Sorry if this is a bit TMI, but I was having really bad problems with my ovaries and I was getting really bad pain in my kidneys and an abdominal area. Things like my cycle weren't regular like it normally was. It was awful all over the place, and went to the doctors and then found out that I had something called an underactive thyroid. So yeah, pretty much an underactive thyroid is where your thyroid gland does not produce enough hormones that your body needs. It does cause depression, which of course depression on top of depression ended up awful. It does also make you gain a lot of weight and with no control at all. No matter how hard you work, no matter what you do, you will continuously gain weight and you cannot stop it. It's very hard to move. So of course that, with the weight gain that I was getting off the medication, it really took a tumble on my mental health again. And of course, being in the generation and society that we are in at the minute, having a lot of weight on you, shall I say, is really hard, especially my career being social media. You do see all these women which are absolutely amazing. Did really take a toll upon my mental health because seeing all of that and then seeing myself, it was one of the worst, and still is one of the worst experiences and things that I have to go through. it is definitely one of the biggest part of my mental health. It honestly is awful. Like, the world at the minute is so dedicated on women's weight, it is awful. It's now at the point where I live my life in pyjamas, oversized clothes. I used to be really bad. I am currently getting better at it, but I refused to look in the mirror at myself unless it was doing my makeup, because then you can just see my face. I really struggled with it. I couldn't do it. Every single person I got involved with, I then pushed them away because I thought, well, I'm not good enough for them. They don't deserve me, which is a heartbreaking thing to think about at the age of 15, 16, 17. It's awful. Now, moving swiftly on from my medication, of course I was still on it. I'm sure some of you might have seen if you follow me on social media, but during lockdown I hit rock bottom. My family literally didn't even realise for so long because I hit it, and I decided to attempt suicide again. This was the first time I had did it within 2 years. I am currently almost 2 years self-harm free, which is amazing. However, I did attempt suicide a little over 2 months ago, I think. And to be fair, I didn't really plan it. It was literally just more in the moment. It was maybe 2 hours prior, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. My best friend, I think she kind of realised that something wasn't right with us, and she wanted to ring us, but I told her that she had to wait. I messaged her and told her that she had to ring us at 9 o'clock, because by 9 o'clock then I would have enough time to go to sleep and hopefully the medication that I had taken would have worked. So I did tell her to ring me at 9 o'clock, because then it would either be I wouldn't answer because I had been successful, or I would answer and I had failed. But I think she realised exactly what I had done, and she refused to ring us at 9 o'clock. She said that she wanted to ring us earlier. When I tell you that girl, she realised. But then again, I think my dad also realised. I think it's a bit cliche to say your parents know when something's up, but my parent really did. My dad knew something wasn't right with his daughter. My dad had sent me a message on our family group chat saying like, what do you want for dinner? And I didn't reply, of course. I was trying to go to sleep, and he then started ringing and ringing and ringing, and it hit near on 9 o'clock when I knew my best friend was going to ring, and my dad hadn't let us go to sleep. She hadn't let me go to sleep. I think the pair of them knew something wasn't right with us, and of course at this point I had taken 12 tablets, which is a lot, and I had felt them starting to take place. My dad had realised, and he just kind of came into my room, sat on my bed and gave us the biggest cuddle ever. Just kind of held us there. Sorry, I'm getting really emotional. And then told me to get my shoes on and said that we were going to hospital. So of course I then got took to hospital. Literally within the space of 5 minutes I was in A&E. And of course COVID was in full form, so my dad couldn't stay with me, and I did end up having to stay in overnight, all wired up, and honestly it was awful. Like, just lay there having failed a suicide attempt with wires all inside of me. It wasn't a nice feeling. I wanted it to succeed rather than be there, you know. So as you are probably aware by now, I do have a brother over in Canada who is literally like the most amazing person in my life, and he had messaged me. Of course, he was so angry at the fact that I didn't tell him and that he didn't realise, I guess, but he did message us and he kind of reassured us that I am not alone and that I can get through whatever I was going through at the time, which really did help a lot, especially being laying in the hospital so close to death and being told that. So now that I've kept the tears back and put them back in, my best friend, who is an absolute godsend, she refused to go to sleep even though I was literally in safe hands with the nurses. She refused to go to sleep, stayed awake all night, messaging us, FaceTiming us, just to make sure that I was okay. And of course I couldn't see any daylight, I couldn't see the sunrise, I couldn't see anything. I was in a dark room. She literally sent us pictures of the sunrise and everything, just so that I could see it. She was sending us videos, just being a normal silly self, just to make us laugh in such a dark time. She was just there. She literally cried more than myself. She cried her eyes out every single time I mentioned it, and honestly I think that's what really hit her, is like that I could get better, that there is people there who want to see me or happy that I'm here. So the next day, of course, I hadn't slept, but then I had to go in and speak to the psych team, and I was in there for about 2 hours speaking to the psych team. So of course, when you overdose on medication, you're not allowed any more medication, like whatever medication you're on, you're not allowed to take. So at the minute I am not in fact on my medication for my anxiety. It was suddenly stopped, so I am currently suffering really bad withdrawals. I think it's a lot worse than what I thought it would be. I cannot breathe a lot of the time. It is awful. I'm constantly shaking, like physically shaking. Some days I literally just cannot get out of bed, don't want to brush my hair. I literally force myself to get up and do an Instagram look because it gets so bad. And now being back at work in a fast-paced environment, it's taken my mind off things, but it's also really difficult to put up with. I think a lot of people think, oh well, you're on the medication so you must be getting better now, blah blah blah. But in fact I am struggling so much right now not being on my medication. It is so hard. And I know that there's a girl which I've currently started following on Instagram, which is another makeup artist from the UK called Gold Henny, or Brandy as you may know her. She is currently going through the same thing. She's a makeup artist who has had possibly the worst year. Of course, don't want to go into her story, that's her side to tell. I will leave her link down below. But she is also currently suffering from withdrawals of a medication, from mental health. So seeing her succeed and be so open about it has really inspired me a lot recently to know to keep pushing, keep going, do it. So of course a big thank you to Brandy for that, for giving me the push that I didn't know I needed. I am finally falling back in love with myself, finding the love that I need, surrounded by so much happiness, and honestly I cannot explain what it, like the amount of happiness I feel saying that. And it feels so good to finally see that my mind is finally becoming healthy. So I recommend this so much. I have started reading my goals out to myself every single day, every morning, every night, just so that I know exactly where I'm going to be, and I refuse to take no for an answer. I have literally got my head screwed on and finally on the road to happiness and healthy mind. you.